The Supreme Court upholds a key part of President Biden's plan for targeted immigration enforcement, rejecting a challenge from both Texas and Louisiana. Writing for the court, Justice Brett Kavanaugh ruled judges should not make government policy through politically driven lawsuits. The decision is a big win for the White House. Joining me to talk more about this is Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson. Professor, thank you so much. Please start by just really breaking down this ruling. What does this mean for immigration enforcement?
It means that they're going to have a lot more power and that executive agencies will be able to make these decisions about who to arrest and or deport and who not to. It's really about something called prosecutorial discretion by executive agencies. It also means that states are limited in their ability to challenge these types of policies. This decision was all about something called standing, which is essentially just a legal concept that says who gets to walk into federal court, who can say, I am injured, and if the federal judge rules on my part, then that injury will be redressed. Then I will receive something in return. And what the court said today, 8-1, is that Texas and Louisiana didn't have that legal standing, that they weren't harmed enough to be able to challenge this. And as you said, Brett Kavanaugh, in part, made that ruling based on separation of powers concerns, essentially saying judges don't belong here. If you want to change this, Congress should change it.
But a lot of this, though, to be really specific, has to do, too, with an immigrant's criminal history and whether or not they pose a current danger to public safety. Is that right?
So the guidelines in this case, that's exactly right. The Department of Homeland Security said we're going to provide guidelines for who is arrested and deported and who is basically not. And what they said is that people who pose a national security risk, people who are violent criminals potentially, those will be the first people, those will be the people who are prioritized to be, again, arrested and deported. And there simply isn't enough people to continue to go down that list of guidelines. So you're exactly right that that was who is prioritized in terms of who would be arrested by ICE.
I want to get your take on the reaction from Texas Governor Greg Abbott. He reacted quickly in a tweet calling the decision outrageous. He says SCOTUS gives the Biden administration carte blanche to avoid accountability for abandoning enforcement of immigration laws. He goes on to say Texas will continue to deploy the National Guard to repel and turn back illegal immigrants trying to enter Texas illegally. But to his point about the Biden administration avoiding accountability, does the Texas governor have a point?
So that to me is a political argument. It is about a legal decision. And the legal decision here, again, it was 8-1 across the ideological spectrum, where let's notice that the Supreme Court wasn't united in saying we like this policy or we don't like this policy or we think it's wise or we don't. They were united in saying that Texas and Louisiana don't have enough of a legal harm to walk into federal court. Now, Justice Alito in his dissent really echoed Governor Abbott and said this allows for the executive, in this case, President Biden, to have this enlarged, unchecked power. But again, the governor is making, in my view, a political argument about a legal decision.
Okay, very good. We will leave the conversation there. Loyola Law professor Jessica Levinson, thanks. Have a good weekend.
You too.